What's up, family? I'm back. Okay, so first semester. First semester is basically assessment, learning your skills, learning how to do a head to toe versus a focus assessment, just getting used to your role. You do have a lot of CNA or PCA duties or requirements, which is why at the end of the semester you can actually sit for the exam and become a certified nursing assistant if you'd like. But just to go through, I have made some videos in the past over first semester, so I won't go through great detail, but just to give you an idea of how it looked for me. So going back to the beginning, they actually did give us a calendar, but this, no. And I did like try to use it when I could, but I didn't really like it. As I said, I went and made a master syllabus. They did stop this after first semester, however. So my classmates were very happy for this. Secondly, we had to keep 2 extra binders. So just to give you an idea, this is my binder for first semester. Do you see how big this is? This is all of my notes and assignments, etc. Okay, I took all of this. You'll see this because I wiped out my school's name because I'm an ambassador and I don't want problems. Okay, so you'll see. So this is my big binder, and I took all of this, okay, and I turned it into this. This is what I did this during finals, okay, and I'll go through this in just a second. Okay, so all of my notes. I also had to keep what's called a documentation folder. So anytime that we did skills, we did an assessment of some type of sort, I had to keep documentation of every skill and every assessment that I checked off on in this binder. Okay, and then I had to turn this in for a grade. We also had to keep what's called a portfolio. This is, thank God my name is finally changed, but this is my portfolio. So inside the portfolio, okay, you have your rubric that's at the very front that has a grade on it, and then you keep all of your exam scores. These are all my exam scores from semester 1, semester 2 that I need to add my final and my 2 ATI levels, which I did level 2 on both of those. Yay God. Okay, and then I'll do 3 and then 4. I have to keep this binder throughout the whole 2 years, as I said, or 4 semesters. And so you also have in here clinical paperwork. So this is my skills check sheet for first semester. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what we did, we had to check off on vital signs, injections, saline dressings, peg tubes, sterile gloving, which is huge, how to make a bed, how to make a crib, how to bathe an adult, brush teeth, isolation rooms, range of motion, transferring a patient that's conscious and unconscious. And so each time we did an assignment, our teacher had to sign off whether we were successful the first attempt or not. I did very well except on vital signs for a child. That heartbeat was beating so fast, I was just like, I'm not even catching it. So that one I had to repeat, which of course makes you cry. And then we had, these are our care plans. We had 3 that we had to do the semester. And so each one you were given basically an assignment, and then you had to do your care plan at the end. It was due at the end of your shift. Now, clinicals in first semester were 6 hours at a long-term care facility. And so you basically had to get in there, get your stuff done, get your skills done, get your stuff signed off and checked off, and then get your care plan going. You also had to document everything. I will definitely go over an in-depth clinical video to give you some good pointers on how to get stuff done. So just bear with me on that. We also had to go to an immunization clinic. So this is where we went to practice what we have done thus far. So we learned how to give immunizations in class. We checked off with our instructor, and then we went to a clinic and we gave immunizations to real individuals. So that's how that went. At the end of it all, you do a check sheet. This is my, you see how I tore it up is? Because it goes with you to every clinical. You do a check sheet. These are all your skills. So you have to do a head to toe with your instructor present. You get your nurse or your instructor to sign off on you once they see you perform it successfully. And you have to have 30 points by the end of the semester. And so we were able to do that. Each clinical you go to, you do an evaluation. You do it yourself. Your clinical instructor also grades it. And then at the very end, you get an overall grade for your clinical. At the end, you put your resume. And so you update this throughout each semester. You give it to your person, your clinical person, and they will go through it. So really quickly, my notes. So when we get notes, you have to get them one of two ways. You get this first semester, we got these lovely little guided notes where you are able to go through and fill in the blanks. How lovely was that? You also had this PowerPoint style of notes. I never cared for these. But you also have this style of notes. Okay, and so what I do is I take those notes and I make my own notes. Y'all remember this color paper? I love color paper. You'll be surprised to know, second semester, I went away from it. I will explain why. Basically, the ink. Trying to find pens that don't either bleed too much or don't dry out too fast due to the paper sucking up the ink was very difficult, and I wasn't going to do it this semester. So I take my own notes, and then I go through and add post-its if maybe the teacher added something that wasn't in the slide of the guide. And then if anything they said that I didn't have or anything they added, I wrote it in purple here. And if they really specified it, like it was really important that you knew was probably going to be on the test, I highlighted it in purple as well. Okay, and so I used these, and I made a bunch of these for each little section. So this was about nutrition, malnutrition, dysphagia, and I made my whole little personal note section over that. And so I used this to study with. I wrote it and then I read it. Okay, and then I did questions. That's how you do. Okay, and then at the end of the semester, I was not about to do that. I didn't really know how to do it. So what I did was I took each unit, because in my binder, each unit is separated by a paper. See, unit 1, and then here's unit 3. Okay, I skipped unit 2 somewhere. There's unit 2. So they're all separated by unit. Everything we went over in that unit, from lecture to skills to clinical, is in each unit. I kept that together. Okay. And then I went through and I made these sheets. It's just like basically a summation of the information from each one of those. So this is theory, evidence-based practice. Infection control. What are these major things that we talked about? Because sometimes I realized in my notes, I had a lot of stuff in it that they didn't cover on the test, or they just glossed right over it. So I was like, let me think about what we actually went over, what was really, really important. And that's what I did. Okay, I made these little sheets. Could have put them front and back, but I used the wrong type of ink. The nursing process. Notice how thick this is, because this is huge. This is what you will be ingrained in your mind, and it will stay with you throughout the entire time. So I got to that point, I was running out of time, and so I started making these. I don't like to type notes because they don't really stick, but I did try to make them so that I could pull out big stuff, like highlight, make red stuff, and then at the end I would go through and answer questions in the chapter, and I would put that at the end to show how much I either knew the information or did not know the information. And so God bless me, I actually made a 93 on my final. So this method was actually pretty well. This is how I take notes. I don't know if that will work for you, but I actually did change my method because the information changed. And first semester, like I said, you're doing a lot of assessment, you're doing a lot of applying the nursing process, but you're also doing a lot of PCA or CNA work. And so in second semester, you really get in there as an RN and you apply that nursing process to those medical diagnoses and make your own nursing diagnosis. And so we're going to talk about that next. I'm going to take a break. I'll be back.